Hello friends, we had started the chapter The Making of a Scientist. Okay, we saw that how story of Mr. Richard Everett, who is a well-known scientist who has been awarded for biochemistry and molecular biology. Okay, so how he started his journey of being a scientist. Okay, so we have already read one part of the chapter, and in this part we found out something. So let us see these questions whether we are able to give the answers or not. How did a book become a turning point in Richard Everett's life? So we know very well that a book that was gifted to him by his mother. Okay, the book was based on the story of a monarch butterfly and its journey, that how far a monarch butterfly can fly. Okay, so this was something very much curious, and then because of this, the man, Mr. Richard Everett, the boy, actually I must say, got very much excited and interested in learning about butterflies. Okay, moreover in the book it was mentioned that if you want to help them in discovering more about butterflies, then they should write to Dr. Urquhart, and this is how the boy came into contact with Dr. Urquhart, and that is why all these things were possible only because of that book. So we can say that the book became a turning point in the life of Richard Everett. Otherwise, he would have left collecting the butterflies. He would have left working upon the butterflies. See, next thing is, how did his mother help him? So his mother, okay, you know very well that his mother was providing him a number of facilities. Okay, she used to take him to explore various things on various short trips, and she used to provide him all the required materials. Moreover, she gave him a telescope also. Okay, so this is how she offered him. So she gave him, and she just kept on awaking his curiosity. Okay, towards exploring the world, and this is how Richard Everett actually went on the path of becoming a successful scientist. So let us see what happens in the next part. So we have already read this part. So now we are going to the next thing. Okay, today we have to start it from the third part. We will start it from here. I must say from page number 4. Page 1 to 3 we have already read. So page 4 will start. So then in 7th grade, he got a hint of what real science is when he entered a county science fair and lost. See, so your being defeated is something to gain actually. Every failure has something to teach you. So here what he learned, that's what we have to study. So first of all, let us see in 7th grade, okay, he attended a county fair. Okay, county fair. What is county? Okay, what is county? So county is province. Actually, like we are having states in India, like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. So these are the counties. Okay, so in his country, okay, whatever county he was living in, so he actually participated in a state level science fair. Okay, and not only participated, he could not win actually. So we are saying that he participated. Fine, so he could not win that competition, and let us see what exactly happens. Yes, fine. Yes, let us continue. It was really a sad feeling to sit there and not get anything while everybody else had won something. Okay, Everett said. His entry was slides of frog tissues which he showed under a microscope. He realized the winners had tried to do real experiments, not simply make a neat display. So what does he say? He says us that what he did, he just showed something in under the microscope. Okay, and that showing something in the microscope, showing something, displaying is not experiment actually. So for that reason, he could not win the competition. He could not secure any position. Okay, so in order to secure the position, then he had learned one thing, that if he has to secure a position, if he has to do something, so then he will have to work upon experiments. He will have to think something uh, real. Okay, he will have to do something real. So he cannot on and on just display anything. So this was something that was very important for him. Already the competitive spirit that drives Richard Ebright was appearing. I knew that for the next year's fair I would have to do a real experiment, he said. So this was something that he has learned. Okay, he has learned that in order to win, he should do some real experiment. The subject I knew most about was the insect work I would been working in the past several years. So obviously, you should do something out of your experience, okay, out of the field in which you are experienced. So he had already explored much about the butterflies. He had been working upon the butterflies, so he decided that why not he should do some real experiment on the butterflies only. So he wrote to Dr. Urquhart for ideas, and back came a stack of suggestions for experiment. Stack, it's lot many in a bunch. Okay, many. Okay, numerous. Okay, so numerous ideas he got. Okay, those kept Everett busy all through high school and led to prize projects in county and international science fairs. Okay, and since those all ideas which he received, okay, in his grade 7, okay, those ideas worked for him in his next grades also. He worked upon those ideas and kept on experimenting various things. Okay, and all these things actually made him win many prizes. So that is how the achievements come. You need to work upon this. You need to think that what exactly you have. Everybody has got something in him. Okay, so that's what you have to discover and you have to work upon it. Okay, fine. Let's continue. Let's move ahead. For his eighth for his eighth grade project, Everett tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. See, so now what was happening? The monarch caterpillars were killed by some disease. Okay, and he had to find out the cause behind that disease. Okay, he decided to find out the cause behind that disease. Everett thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. Okay, you know what is beetle? Exactly, it's an insect. He tried he tried raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. I didn't get any real result, he said. But I went ahead and showed that I had tried the experiment. This time I won. See, ultimately what he was working upon and what he achieved. He thought his theory was that we caterpillars, the monarch caterpillars were killed by a disease and that disease could be spread through the beetles. He believed that the cause of the disease was beetles. Okay, so he tried, he experimented. This was his theory, and theory proved wrong. So in science, what is there if your theory is proving wrong? If you are not able to prove your theory, still you have won something. Try to understand. Okay, somewhere it was clear that this beetle means nobody need to experiment it again on the beetles. Okay, it was totally clear that beetles were not the cause of the disease. So it was overall clear. It was completely clear that yes, this was not the cause. So ultimately, he had made the experiment. Whether he was not succeeded, but his failure was also a success, a kind of success. I hope you are getting me. What it is similarly like in the class of girls and boys, girls could not win. If I say in the class of girls and boys, girls could not win. What does that mean? Obviously, boys won. Okay, if boys not won, then still it is clear that girls were not winning. So this is how Everett worked on, and this is how Everett actually unknowingly proved something. Okay, he was trying to do something else and he did something else. So this is how Everett worked upon the monarch caterpillar. Okay, and he reached to a conclusion. So ultimately in science, conclusion is the victory. Okay, if you reach a conclusion, okay, then he will be successful. Okay, So let's continue. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that the viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. So let us highlight what all theories he worked upon. So first of all, he tried to find the cause of viral disease that kills nearly all monarch butterflies every few years. So first theory was this. Second theory, okay, second theory upon which he has to work was uh, testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. So these were the two theories on which he worked in his childhood. My dear, when he was in 7th, 8th and 9th grade, I must say. When he was in 8th and 9th grade. So at that time he proved it. Okay, he worked upon those theories. Whatever. Let's continue. Let's move ahead. The theory was that viceroy looks like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Oh, so viceroy on the other hand do taste good to birds. So the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. So what do we see here? There are two types of butterflies. One is viceroy and one is monarch. Okay, so monarchs and viceroy. Okay, so it is said that monarchs butterfly do not taste good. Okay, their taste is not good, or maybe we can say in the other words like that birds do not eat monarch butterflies. They eat viceroy butterflies. So this was a theory. Okay. So in order to save themselves, the viceroy butterflies start looking like monarchs. They copy monarchs and they look like monarchs so that they are saved from the birds. Okay. So do they copy or not? And why do they copy? Okay. So this was the project. This was the theory that do they really copy? So let us see whether he proved it or not. Everight's project was to see whether in fact the birds could eat monarch. Okay, he had to prove. He had to prove the birds will eat monarch or not. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Okay, so he talked about the bird starling that it would eat all the monarchs, all the butterflies. Everett said later research by other people showed that viceroy probably do copy the monarchs. This project was placed first in zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. So again he won some competition. He won the first position in the division and third position in the overall county science fair. So this is how the journey to become a successful scientist started. Okay. So let us see more what is there. In his second year in high school, Richard Everett began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cells. So the now next target was working upon some hormones. He was going complicated now. He was working upon the more depth of the biology, or we can say zoology. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? So this is the next theory upon which he worked. Okay, he tried to find out the reason for gold spots on the monarch pupa. Everyone assumed that the spots were just ornamental, that means made for the beauty purpose. Okay, nothing else. But Everett said, no. But Dr. Urquhart did not believe it. See, so here you can find that after his mother, if somebody was there was helping him a lot, that was Dr. Urquhart. We can say that Dr. Urquhart was a kind of godfather to him. Okay. To find the answer, Everett had and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. So what they did, they first of all he took another student with him. Okay, he was a science student, and they both together build a device. So see, first of all, they build a device. Okay, so this was the first thing that they achieved. And what was the device useful for? The device that showed that the spots were producing hormones necessary for butterflies' full development. That means neither the gold spots were ornamental, okay, neither the gold spots were ornamental, nor the theory assumed by people was correct. So, in order to prove it wrong, they built a device, okay, and then after they proved that the gold spots on the butterfly were actually made for some hormones. They were producing some hormones. They were ejaculating some hormones which could be useful in the growth of butterfly. Hope it is clear to all of you. Okay. This project won Everett's first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. So this is how he moved ahead, and he stepped up one more stage of his life success. Okay, fine. So we are ending it here only. The rest part will be doing in the next class, next session. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. Enjoy learning.